es que mi cuento siempre pierde el buen, aquel que da la vida por una señal, que diga que el corazón de ella sí es sincero, que diga que esa chica no le va a fallar. Uno de esos soy yo, uno de esos soy yo, yeah. Por eso cuando me preguntan cómo voy de amor, retiro la mirada y les bajo la voz, porque nadie sabe que yo tengo una maldición, que siempre me rompen el corazón, y que el bueno sea yo. Prefieren al traidor. Por eso no crean el amor, te rompe siempre el corazón, te roba la felicidad, y en realidad no se merece esta canción, no se merece mi atención. Y hoy decidí vivir feliz, bebiendo para no sufrir, ahogando así mis lágrimas. Y es que en verdad ya estoy perdiendo la razón, no, ahogando penas en alcohol.
Y pues quien quiera que me quiera, yo ya de todas maneras no pienso caer en la trampa de historias pasajeras. Ahora seré feliz, amores fuera, ya no seré ni un cualquiera. No pienso darte más, ahora miro por mí, me toca disfrutar, ya no pienso más sufrir, ya no quiero perder más ni un solo momento. Me dedicaré a amar lo que canto y siento.
Por eso no crean el amor, te rompe siempre el corazón, te roba la felicidad.
Hi, my name is Nghia Tran. I'm a coach here at East Bay Badminton Association. Today we're going to talk about proper grips work for the sport. The things you need will be a racket. This would be the proper forehand grip. As you can see, the racket is pointing downwards rather than flat. And this would be the proper backhand grip with my thumb on the flat end of the racket. To start, if you're right-handed, put your right hand on the racket face. And from there, slide the racket down until you hit the grip. Close it with the first 3 fingers. Put your thumb above the middle finger, and your hand should now form a V with the racket grip. It's really similar to shaking somebody's hand as you're holding this racket right now. So with the forehand grip, it allows you to get into proper position as you turn out the racket and swing with your wrists without anything blocking or hurting your wrist. To do the backhand grip, all you have to do is start with the forehand grip and switch it by putting the pointing finger down and the thumb on the flat end of your racket. This gives you a nice backhand push, but it wouldn't do you any good for overhead backhand shots. So for the backhand grips, all you have to do is push with your thumb out with your racket facing forward. The thumb will help you push the shots forward and give you power at a very, very close space. For an overhead backhand grip, you'll have to hold your thumb on the groove that's unangled to your grip right here. By holding it here, it does 2 purposes. The first, it allows you to swing at full power without having any restrictions on your wrist, and it gives you a directional choice. You can hit straight or cross, a lot easier than had you used any other grip with your racket. For a proper stance, we'll need a racket, shoes, and of course a standard badminton court with nets. For the defensive stance in badminton, you'll have to have your legs slightly apart, knees slightly bent so you're a little bit low to the ground, For doubles, your racket should be in front of you, staying flat, because most doubles games, people smash, so you might as well get ready with the racket lower already. For the singles defensive stance, you have to have your racket outwards a little bit so that you can reach for shots if they do any far shots away from you. For the offensive stance, the key is to have your racket up and in front of you so that you can time the birdie as you swing the shot to be in front of you the entire time, rather than back here where the halfway point might possibly be above you rather than in front of you. Today, we're going to talk about proper footwork for beginners. The equipment that you will need to do footwork would be proper shoes, a racket to play the sport, and of course, a proper court as well. We're going to start by talking about the forward footwork towards the front first. First will be the front forehand shot. The key points, if you are right-handed, you have to start with your left leg going forward, and then ending with your right leg slightly at a lunging movement. Make sure the foot is turned towards the direction in which you're going towards and not to the straight, because you could potentially injure yourself and twist your ankle like that. So always have a nice balanced support of your entire body in a lunging motion to end your footwork. This would be the footwork for going towards the front for your forehand side. We're going to talk about the forward motion for your footwork towards your backhand side now. To start off, make sure your left foot goes first if you're right-handed, and end with your right leg in a lunging motion, reaching towards the net. Make sure the foot is pointing the proper direction, like to balance your body in a proper lunge, rather than any other direction, which potentially can help you twist your ankle. This is how you do the footwork for the front net backhand. As you approach the net, this is how you return back to base again. Make sure you shuffle first rather than taking a step back first. The reason being, if you shuffle first, if your opponent decides to re-drop you, you can easily push forward with your left leg because your racket is still in front of you and kill the birdie. That would not allow you to do that had your leg been back here. It would take a longer time to jump forward to swing for that shot. This is how you move back to base after going forward. We're going to talk about the forehand side footwork. To start off, make sure you start with your left foot and lunge outwards with your right foot. Make sure that your foot is pointing towards the direction in which you're lunging towards and not straight, because then you could possibly twist your ankle. So we don't want that. So now have a nice balance and have a nice lunging motion. From here, shuffle back. This is how you do the forehand side footwork. We're going to talk about the footwork for going towards our backhand side. To start off, make sure you step with your left leg and end with your right leg towards the side that you want to go towards. Make sure the foot is pointing towards that direction and not outwards in any other way, because you could potentially twist your ankle. Have a nice balance in a lunging motion and hit your backhand and shuffle back to base. This is how you do the footwork towards your backhand side. We're going to now talk about the forehand backcourt footwork. To start off, take your back leg one step back towards the direction in which you want to go towards and make shuffle movements until you get to the back. Ending with the right leg having the weight of your body. From here, swing and run back to base. This is how you do the forehand backcourt footwork for beginners. We're now going to talk about the footwork to go back towards our backhand backcourt side. Step with your left foot towards the direction in which you want to go towards, and step with the next leg with your right leg. Continue following the birdie as you shuffle until you see the birdie, you're in great position, and the weight of your body should be on your right leg. From here, hit the shot, pivot quickly, and run back to base. This is how you do the footwork for the backcourt backhand for beginners. And I'm a coach here at East Bay Badminton Association. Today we're going to talk about the long serve for beginners, both backhand and forehand. The things you need for the long serve would be a racket, a birdie, and of course a standardized court. The goal of the long serve is to get it nice and high and deep and far onto your opponent's side so that it opens up the court for you. To do the long serve with the forehand, the first step is to have a nice forehand grip. From there, have your dominant leg, if you're right-handed, that would be your right leg, in the back, holding the birdie on the feather, facing forward, with the cork facing forward. Position yourself so that the birdie is in front and the racket is down here next to your sides, wrists locked and ready to swing. Start by releasing the birdie first before you swing. A lot of beginners make the mistake of dropping and swinging at the same time. The timing would be off and you wouldn't get a very good shot from that. So make sure you hit it in front of you rather than to the side of you. Start by dropping the birdie, count 1, and then swing with a full pivot motion. This is the forehand long serve. To do a backhand long serve, start by positioning yourself with your right foot in front, racket in front, at an angle. Hold the birdie with 2 fingers onto one of its feathers and position it in front of your racket. Start by pulling back and locking your wrists, and as you approach forward, go at a fast and powerful speed. This is the backhand long serve. And that was the long serve, both forehand and backhand, for badminton. My name is Nghia Tran, and the things you need for the short serve would be a racket, a birdie, and of course a proper standard court to practice on. Where you would stand to serve, you would stand closer towards the front baseline with your right leg forward. To do the backhand short serve, start by having your backhand grip, meaning the thumb is on the flat end of your racket. Start by positioning the racket's head face down in front of you, like so. Next, put the birdie in front and in the middle of the racket. Make sure that you hold it by one of the feathers of the bird, so you have good control and feel of the bird. Once you put it in the middle, the serve starts as soon as you go forward with your racket. meaning you can do anything else before that, but as soon as it goes forward, it has to be in one smooth motion and it cannot stop. So from here, push forward gently with your fingers and over the net. To do the forehand short serve, start by positioning your right foot in the back and your racket face down. From here, hold the bird with one feather in front of you, like so. Make sure the cork is facing downwards. After that, you'll drop the birdie first, swing forward, and make sure the contact point is below your waist with the racket pushing forward, like so. For the forehand serve, same concept. Make sure the contact point is below the waist. A general tip for beginners for short serves is when you begin, aim for the white tape on the net. This way you'll get your practice out and you'll get to practice getting it right over the tape. Today we're going to talk about how to hit a smash shot for beginners. The equipments that you need to practice the smash shot would be a birdie, a racket, and of course a standardized court with proper nets. To execute a smash shot, start off with an offensive stance, meaning that your dominant leg, so if you're right-handed, your right foot is in the back, and the weight is on the right foot. Make sure your arms are high and proper positioning so that you have nice balance and your body is your chest is not facing your opponent, but slightly away from them with your head turned. As soon as you see the birdie in front of you, start by pushing off with your right leg forward and extending your arm over the bird. The key is it has to be over the bird. And make contact with the birdie at full power, snapping your wrists and throwing your shoulder forward as hard as you can, following through properly to the other side. Start in offense position and wait and get the birdie at its highest point. And that was the smash shot in badminton. My name is Nghia Tran and I'm a coach here at East Bay Badminton Association. If you would like to know more about the smash shot or about the sport, feel free to visit us online at www.eastbaybadminton.com. Hi, my name is Nghia Tran and I'm a coach here at East Bay Badminton Association. Today we're going to talk about the overhead drop shot. For the overhead drop shot, you will need a birdie, a racket, and a standard court to practice on. To execute the drop shot in the forehand side, start with the offensive position, meaning your right leg's in the back, the weight of your body is on that leg, and the racket position is up. With your body, with your chest not facing the net, but away from it on a side. From here, as you swing your shot, push your body forward, lock your wrists and extend your arm for a little bit. And as you make contact with the birdie, make sure the contact is above the birdie. Once you get on top of the birdie, make sure to snap your wrists, but not at a very high power. Do not tighten up your arms or muscles, but relax a little so that you can just swing, but without transferring too much power into the birdie. Your goal is to get that birdie close to the net as possible. Once you hit the shot, follow through properly. To do the overhead forehand drop shot, starts by a regular position. To execute the second overhead drop shot, start in the same position, And as the birdie is flying towards your backhand side, reach the racket and your arm over your head like so in the circle. And from here, your wrist is locked and you can still get over on top of the birdie and snap your wrists downwards. To do the other overhead drop shot when it's flying towards your backhand, start in the same position, but as the birdie flies to the backhand, reach over and do a drop shot like so. And that wraps up the overhead drop shot and the overhead backhand drop shot. My name is Nghia Tran and I'm a coach here at East Bay Badminton Association. If you'd like to know more about the drop shots, train, or even play, feel free to visit us on our web at www.eastbaybadminton.com.
While we're on the topic of the overhead clear, it's worth mentioning that there are two basic types of clears. There's the defensive clear, in which you hit the shuttle as high as possible and it gives the player a chance to get back in the court. You can also have an offensive clear, also known as an attacking clear. In that shot, it's an overhead clear, but instead of hitting the shuttle all the way to the ceiling, you hit it a lot flatter and a lot lower. So Chibing is going to demonstrate the attacking or offensive clear. The attacking clear is a lot lower than the regular defensive clear, and the purpose of this shot is to throw your opponent off balance, especially when your opponent is expecting a different shot, such as a drop shot or a smash. And that's basically how you hit an attacking or offensive clear.